hoped last week that the Orange would get some tonic. But of course, they travel to Marquette, and what happens? This losing streak continues. Like I said last week, Orange fans, you gotta wonder, what's happening? We started out 18-0, everything was looking good. Possible number 1 seed upcoming in the NCAA tournament. But after the last 4 games, you gotta wonder, will there be an NCAA tournament for the Orange? Our latest setback, a 76-70 drubbing to Marquette. At first, it looked pretty good, but then the Orange fell behind by 11 points there at the half. Again, another team seemed to solve the 2-3 zone. But then the Orange staged a furious comeback and tie it right there in the second half. But then, that inexcusable pass right there near the end when we still had a chance. Marquette comes back down the court, hits a 3-pointer, and it's all said and done. Another loss, the 4th in a row for the Orange. The first 4-game losing streak in 4 years for the Orange. And you know what happened 4 years ago? We were in the NIT instead of the NCAA. You gotta wonder, the way the Orange have been playing lately, is that where they're headed? The NIT instead of the NCAA. And we still got heavy hitters coming up. And another thing I noticed, the 3 J's had their way again. It was Rick Jackson, Scoop Jardine, and Mr. Joseph all contributing again. The 3 J's, JJJ, and not Mr. Dynomite either. But as I said, you're wondering, I noticed, no Dion waiters and no James Southerland on the floor there against Marquette. Is something going on? There's something going on behind the scenes like I thought last week. If there's anything, they better forget it, because they got to put their minds in and get going here. The Orange can't afford to keep falling like this. It seems as though we're falling on our face, and hopefully not in the snow, because we got some of that coming this week. And as I said, we got 2 more games on this road swing coming up, including Wednesday night. Our good old resurgent rivals from Storrs, Connecticut, the Huskies, with their venerable coach Jim Calhoun. And then we got a team that may be up and coming in a few years in the Big East, South Florida next. But the thing is, after that, on the horizon, there's still more trouble. Because guess who comes next after South Florida? It's the rivalry of rivalries, Orange fans. Something this Orange fan waits for every year. The Georgetown Hoyas coming to the Loud House. You gotta hope that crowd, that big crowd that was so disappointed with us falling to Villanova, shows back up to support the Orange against our rivals. And Mr. Freeman, you're a hell of a player, and I especially commend you playing through type 1 diabetes. But you gotta wonder, can the Orange get it back in gear? They better get it back in gear with the Hoyas coming to the Loud House. And after that, the team that seems to have our number, just like Pittsburgh lately, Rick Pitino and the Louisville Cardinals on the road are after the Hoyas. And to round it out in the next 5 games, it's West Virginia coming to the Loud House on Valentine's Day. The Orange better get back in gear and get this losing streak off their heads. As I hope they aren't falling on their face towards the NIT instead of the NCAA. Heck, a couple weeks ago it looked like we were going to have a number one seed. Now you wonder whether we're going to be in the tournament at all. But on a happier note, in a couple of days, it'll be the signing day for our next football recruits. And we're getting someone's coming in now, 28 at last count. And I think a couple more for next year. And you gotta wonder, how many can the Orange sign? I think the Orange can have 30 or more, depending on differentials, and then depending if some of them decide to enroll in school early. But this looks like a good-looking class coming in for the football team and Doug Marrone, even if we did lose Ishak Williams to Notre Dame. Looks like a good class, and Doug Marrone is again chomping at the bit. And I'm chomping at the bit, and the season's only been over a month. And our lacrosse team is getting ready to start with a preseason number one ranking. Let's go Orange. But as I say to the team, let's get off of this ride and let's go back to winning ways. We can't have any more big losses, not with the Huskies and the Hoyas coming up. And get out of it, Mr. Waiters and Mr. Southerland, if there's a supposed thing going on behind the scenes. I'm Ken Haas, that's my story, and I'm getting a little worried right now. And get out of it, Mr. Waiters and Mr. Southerland, if there's a supposed thing going on behind the scenes.